Good morning. Welcome to Plastic Omnium Safety Basics. My name is Dan Forkey. I am the Environmental Health and Safety Specialist here in the Adrian facility. If you have any questions after this class, please feel free to come to Human Resources at any time and ask me any question about what you've seen in this presentation today. Thank you. Our agenda for today will be safety contact, the evacuation procedure, site rules, safety data sheets, employee right to know, non-negotiables, workplace violence, and then the Bradley curve. Safety contact. Safety contact is a way to promote safety every day in the workplace. It can be as simple as asking the question, what have you seen or done safely today? Or what have you seen unsafe today and took the steps to make it safe? Can you think of an example of what you have done safely today and share it with a group? Please take a moment and share your safety ideas with others. EHS policy, posted in the lobby and employee entrance. We are ISO 14001 certified facility, required to be certified by our customers and by our corporation. Plastic Omnium Adrian pledges to implement and operate the ISO 14001 environmental management system to identify and address significant environmental aspects of its operations, including matters such as improving the efficiency of energy usage, properly storing, handling, and disposing of all wastes, properly managing, storing, and using oil products. As I said earlier, the EHS policy is posted in two areas of this facility, the lobby and the employee entrance. When you get a moment, please stop by and read the policy. Emergency procedures. Fire evacuation. In the event of a fire, the alarm system will sound.
Emergency has been reported in this building. Please cease operations and leave the building utilizing the nearest exit or
If you have heard this alarm, please follow the emergency evacuation signs. Evacuation signs are posted throughout the building. Report to the evacuation assembly area, which is in the northwest corner of the visitor parking lot. Report to your Plastic Omnium contact person, which is your supervisor. Remain there until an all clear has been issued. Please line up by cell. Example, 300, 301, 302. Line up in the cell in which you work. Remember, do not use a fire extinguisher unless you are authorized and trained to do so. If an extinguisher is used, you must fill out an incident report form and report immediately to EHS. Emergency response personnel will be alerted automatically to respond to the facility. Here is the copy of the Adrian evacuation map. As you can see on the screen, the left portion of your screen is the production area. The right portion of your screen is the warehouse area. The red dots denote fire suppression systems, whether they be fire pole alarms or fire extinguishers. Building exits are located completely around the facility, and there is a fire pull station at each one of those exits. There are 5 eye wash stations in the facility. There are 7 first aid kits throughout the facility. Please make sure you only use first aid items for work-related situations. Please do not take these for home use. Tornado shelter. The tornado shelter is located in the front, which would be the north, women's and men's locker rooms. These are the only tornado shelter. Parking lot safety. Reverse parking only. required in all areas. If you haven't done so, please reverse park. Reverse park is very important in our facility. Some things to remember. Watch for pedestrians at all times, always yielding to pedestrians. Pedestrians should walk to the right or the left-hand side of traffic lanes and use marked crosswalks. Drivers must park in marked parking spaces. Do not take two spaces. This allows for better eye-to-eye contact between pedestrians and drivers. Pedestrians should always walk in front of parked cars to allow eye-to-eye contact with drivers. Always be cautious about crossing in driveways. Reminder, speed limit in the Plastic Omnium facility in Adrian is 15 miles per hour. When there are pedestrians, please drive at a slower speed. Parking lot safety. Do not cut across parking spaces. If you think things cannot happen in the Adrian facility, please check out this video from 2017 from the Adrian facility. As you noticed, one car was cutting across the parking lot. The other car was coming back at a fast rate, coming back late from lunch, which resulted in an accident. Fortunately, there were no injuries. Emergency information and procedures. In the event of a severe weather warning or take cover, an announcement will be made over the PA system from Central Dispatch or a supervisor. Please do only take cover during an active tornado warning. The severe weather shelter is in the men's and women's locker room near the employee entrance or the North Cafe. The signs are above the doors. Only report to a designated weather shelter. In case of an in-plant emergency, such as a medical emergency, follow the posting at the plant phones as shown to the right. There is a posting at every phone on the shop floor. Pick up the handset, press the page 1 button. Page alert, alert, first response is needed, and then the location of your emergency. Repeat this continuously until you are notified to stop. Adrian First Responders. Here is a partial list of our Adrian First Responders. We have multiple individuals within the facility that are licensed first responders, and we have classes every year to make sure that we have a sufficient number of first responders to administer aid in case it is needed. Emergency information and procedures continued. The use of video recording equipment, camera phones, and cameras are prohibited unless approved by the staff or health and safety. Hourly employees are not allowed to use cell phones on the shop floor unless you are issued a company phone. These company-issued phones will have a red case on them. As an example, maintenance, process techs, or quality. As a reminder, it is forbidden to walk and use a cell phone in the facility. This includes hourly, salary, or visitors. Talking on a cell phone is a form of cognitive distraction that can put pedestrians at risk. I always encourage practicing the non-use of a cell phone while walking. Possession of firearms, knives, or other dangerous weapons are prohibited on company property. Pocket knives are not allowed in the facility. Please do not bring these. If you are issued a knife, you will be issued a safety knife. This will be for water spiders or specific areas of the departments. We are a tobacco-free facility. Smoking or any tobacco use, they are allowed in designated areas. This is the smoke shack, which is in the south end of the building, or your personal vehicle. This is not the traffic islands. This is not next to the building when it's raining out. Only these two areas, smoking is permitted. This does include vaping. Please make sure you dispose of waste properly. Do not throw your cigarette butts on the ground. This is a violation of health and safety rules. And it also looks bad in our facility. Marijuana use in any form is prohibited by Plastic Omnium. Employee right to know. Hazard communication. We will review safety data sheets and their locations, labeling and marking systems, employee training, hazard location and cleanup. This is an NFPA fire label. This label needs to be on any and all containers that have any liquid in them which are not in a container marked by the factory. As an example, spray can of paint does not have to have an NFPA label. A spray bottle with water does have to have an NFPA label. A spray bottle with degreaser listed as simple green with a factory labeled container label does not have to have an NFPA fire label. A spray bottle filled with isopropyl alcohol does have to have an NFPA fire label. Please make sure if you find any containers on your line that does not have one of these labels, please take it to a supervisor or health and safety to make sure it can be disposed of or marked appropriately. If you have any questions, please see your supervisor or health and safety. Safety data sheets. All employees have the right to know what hazardous chemicals are present in their work environment. Safety data sheets are located outside of the supervisor's office. There's an index showing you how to get to the appropriate safety data sheet. Flammable cabinets. There is a flammable cabinet on each line. It is your top right picture. Please only make sure that flammable liquids go in these cabinets, such as spray bottles filled with isopropyl alcohol, any pressurized vessel which contains a high volatile chemical or a flammable chemical. What does not have to go in here? Water, degreasers, anything that is not of an explosive nature. Please do not put combustibles in these cabinets, such as gloves, paper towels, and items that can burn easily. If you have a question about safety data sheets, their purpose, or their location, please see Environmental Health and Safety. Exposure and cleanup. If you are exposed to a hazardous substance at work, you are required to report it to your supervisor, who will complete an incident report form. Chemical spills will be cleaned up by skilled trades. As an example, a chemical spill will be anything over 20 or 25 gallons. If you spill isopropyl alcohol on the ground as you are filling a bottle, please grab a rag and clean it up. It is your responsibility. Non-negotiables. You should have already received a card that has all 6 non-negotiables on it. Why are these called non-negotiables? These are the work rules. We have to have work rules to keep people safe. Let's review the 6 non-negotiables. Non-negotiable number 1, pedestrian circulation. As a pedestrian, I always use pedestrian walkways. I do not block pedestrian walkways. I do not block emergency exits, and I wear a high visibility vest in logistics areas. In the Adrian facility, crosswalks are yellow hash marks. Walkways are denoted by a yellow line. Sidewalks are dark gray in color. Forklift paths are dark green in color, and these are only to be used by forklifts. Let's review a video. As you can see in this video, This forklift appears to be going at a high rate of speed. Plastic omnium facilities, the maximum speed is 5 miles per hour, and all forklifts are regulated at 5 miles per hour. You can also see that the operator driving the forklift is in a production area. This is not a green area. This is not where he should be. This driver goes to the top of the screen and grabs a load of unsecured material. A load of unsecured material is like a missile when an operator stops really fast. When we add a person that is distracted, let's see what the result could be. As you can see, this young lady was struck by this forklift while she was checking her phone. She could have been seriously injured or killed this day. Fortunately, she was not. You saw what happened to the load. Now we have an incident. We have a safety incident. Please make sure you follow pedestrian circulation rules. Non-negotiable number 2, personal protective equipment. I follow the safety and work instructions, and I use the right tools. I wear the mandatory PPE at my location. I look after my PPE and replace it when it is damaged or ineffective. I call this the seat belt. We want to make sure that we have protection in case something happens. After the incident happens, you cannot go back. You cannot put on the PPE to then protect yourself. The accident has occurred already. So please make sure you use the proper PPE. What PPE do I need to wear? Safety glasses, required at all times on the shop floor. Safety shoes, required at all times on the shop floor. Safety gloves. Gloves are required for all tasks on the shop floor. This includes all tasks on the shop floor for all employees. G-Tech blow mold gloves are used for deflash. Hot oven gloves for purge handling. Nitrile gloves for chemical handling. Cut-resistant gloves provide heat shield and cut risk work protection. High-temperature gloves for preheated welder change. As you can see, there are specific characteristics for all these gloves. All the homework has been done. This is not to make you feel uncomfortable. This is for your protection. Please make sure you follow these rules when it comes to gloves. Hearing protection. Hearing protection is required in the quality lab, in the grinder pits, in the mechanical and chemical rooms, on the mezzanine, and in fabrication. Hearing protection is provided for your use in all locations of the facility. Safety vest, high visibility vest. They are required in the warehouse and while operating a forklift. Water spiders must have high visibility vests. All visitors must wear high visibility orange vests. All salaried individuals on the shop floor must wear high visibility vests. And these always must be displayed on the outside of one person. Please do not cover them with a jacket. Sleeves and arm guards were required for new team members for first 30 days on the job in all areas. So for your first 30 days on the job, you must have on long sleeves or a pair of cut-resistant sleeves out of the machine. These are also required for heat shield work and all blow mold and deflash operations. Remember, long sleeves or arm guards required for heat shield work and blow mold and deflash operations. Bump caps. These are required for certain activities, mainly entering inside equipment, overhead work, changeovers. This could include maintenance, process technicians, and skilled trades duties. If you go into a machine to do any cleaning, you must have lockout tagout training and you must have a bump cap. Aprons and arm guards are required when using a rotozip for material handlers and quality auditors. This is very important. Safety shoes. Any shoe showing signs of damage are not considered acceptable protection and must be replaced. If your shoes are damaged and you are not eligible for new shoes, we will review on a one-on-one basis. Please come to HR for assistance. As you can see, the picture on the left is a very good shoe. The picture on the right has a worn leather toe covering and is not acceptable protection. All Plastic Omnium employees have an annual reimbursement of $100 towards the purchase of safety shoes. Please protect yourself. If you do not have the proper PPE, please contact your Plastic Omnium contact to obtain the proper PPE required for your visit. You are always required to have the appropriate PPE. How do you get the PPE? You retrieve all PPE from the vending machine. We have 2 vending machines, one by each cafe. The instructions: you scan your badge, you scroll on the screen to select your item, you press the button to select the item, and then you log out. Please take your item and continue working. If it does not fit, it is not PPE. All the PPE that you wear is your responsibility to take care of and control. PPE in the Adrian facility is very expensive. We spend a lot of money, thousands of dollars every month for your protection. Please make sure you look after it, as it is very expensive. If you have issues with the machine, notify your supervisor, HR, or your representative. Non-negotiable number 3, forklifts. On forklift trucks, I wear my seatbelt, I wear my high visibility vest, and I do not use my phone while driving. Let's take a look at a video of an incident that occurred overseas. As you can see in the middle of the picture, we have a pedestrian walking out on the dock area. On the left, you will see a forklift driver that is moving a product. They do not look at each other. The forklift turns towards the operator, the pedestrian walking, and runs him over, breaking his left leg. Let's watch. As you can see, now we have a serious injury, a very serious injury. Both bones were broken in this individual's left leg because he was where he's not supposed to be, and the forklift driver was not performing his functional duties. Please make sure you are not a victim of a forklift incident. Non-negotiable number 4, suspended loads. I never walk under a suspended load. I respect the safety perimeter. 2 persons are required to move a load with a crane when it is more than 1 meter from the ground or due to lack of visibility. Please make sure if there is any overhead work, you do not work underneath. Let's watch a safety video where we have overhead work and an injury. As you can see, the individual on the left is trying to get this chunk of steel loose from this upper plate. He has a very good stance. but he does not get out of the way in time. This chunk of steel landed on his left leg and broke his left ankle. Now, this press definitely will not be back in production very soon, as we have an injury to deal with. Pedestrian safety guidelines. Walking through overhead doors is not allowed. Only quality or maintenance activities are allowed if moving large objects. Walk only in the gray walk paths or yellow crosswalks. High visibility vests are mandatory in the warehouse, and you must be in a walk path. LED flashing vests are required for pedestrians outside of a walk path and must be 100% operational. Please be aware that lift trucks cannot stop suddenly. Stand clear of lift trucks in operation, both front and rear. This includes while they are stacking items and objects. The picture on the right, you can see that on the bottom of the screen, we have a walk path, a pedestrian path. We have replaced all the yield signs with stop signs. Stop signs mean you must stop. Stop, do not walk out in front of a forklift. Use the yellow crosswalks. Inside the cells, by the production areas, you will see a red line. You are not allowed to cross this red line unless there is a yellow crosswalk available. Non-negotiable number 5, lockout tagout. I never tamper with or bypass a safety device. I isolate the energy source, release any stored energy, and apply lockout tagout prior to any service or maintenance activities. At any time, you are not allowed intervention on any piece of equipment unless you have been provided the appropriate lockout tagout training. You are not allowed inside equipment unless you are provided a lock by Plastic Omnium, and must not be the primary lock on the equipment unless training warrants a non-technical lock. If at any time you encounter a faulted machine, intervention would always require lockout tagout if you are not able to recover the controls through the HMI. This would include any and all adjustments, including components or fuel tanks. If you have loaded a fuel tank incorrectly and the machine gets stuck, you must disengage the equipment using the HMI or call maintenance. Prior to entry into a faulted machine, lockout tagout must be applied and all energies must be released per posted lockout tagout matrix instructions. If you cannot release the pressure off the HMI, you are not allowed to go into the machine. This is for any and all activities. If at any time you are unsure of these or any requirements or lockout tagout application, you must contact your supervisor. Proper lockout tagout, the machine in the off position, a hasp, a lock, and a tag. Lockout tagout placard. This is basically a roadmap on how to properly shut down the stored energies on the equipment. Energy source tags. These are located at every energy source tag switch, which could include electrical, pneumatic, water, steam, gravity. There are many energy source tags on our pieces of equipment. Please identify yourself with the energy source tags on your equipment. Non-negotiable number 6, working at heights. I wear personal fall protection when I am working above 2 meters in the absence of collective protective equipment. I wear fall protection on elevated platforms. I use ladders as means of access only. So what this means, anything over 6 feet, you must be in a bucket, a scissor lift, a boom lift. You must don a hard hat, a bump cap, or any other personal protective equipment required to do such task. Ergonomics. Ergonomics is the science of improving employee performance and well-being in relation to job tasks, equipment, and the environment. Ergonomics is a continuous improvement effort to design the workplace for what people do well and design against what people don't do well. The bottom line, pay attention to what you do, pay attention to your tasks, and always think about the task before you perform the task. If it doesn't seem right, don't do it. If the item is too heavy, don't lift it. Ask for help. Use team lift method. Ergonomic assessments. When we do ergonomic assessments, we use these 10 factors to try and address any ergonomic condition that exists on any piece of equipment. Recognizing ergonomic issues. Let's look at some of these examples. Wash rag, elbows out. These are really bad ergonomic situations that can lead to injury further down the road. Shoulders too high or too low. Hungry head. This is where the item is too low for the operator. He is contorting his body to try to look at the task at hand. Bending over to totes. This is very ergonomically unsafe. If you have a situation like this, please report it to your supervisor. The bottom picture, twist and shout. This doesn't look like a very difficult task if it's, as an example, 5 pounds. But if you move this 5-pound box 10,000 times today, that's 50,000 pounds of you've moved. So please pay attention to your body location. Always face the load, lift with your legs, and hold the load close to your body. Horizontal distance or horizontal reaching. This is very bad on your lower back. Using vibratory equipment without padded gloves. Contact on boxes and such. Bloodborne pathogen awareness. What is a bloodborne pathogen? They are microorganisms that can be carried in the bloodstream that can cause disease to humans. The OSHA bloodborne pathogen standard states, anyone whose job requires exposure to bloodborne pathogens is required to complete training. First responders are employees who are trained in CPR and first aid. The more you know, the better you will perform in real situations. Notify first responders immediately. Use of proper PPE. Treat all blood and bodily fluids as if they are contaminated. Proper cleanup and decontamination will be done by the first responders. They will also dispose of all contaminated material in the proper manner. Reporting. Report safety incidents, no matter how small, to your supervisor, environmental health and safety, or HR department. You must report all safety incidents. Workplace violence. Unprofessional behavior that exhibits or is reasonably perceived as being abusive, confrontational, harassing, intimidating, or threatening in any way on our premises or our customer's premises in connection with one's employment. Some of the common causes: standing too close to other individuals, physical threats, discourteous behavior, throwing or slamming of tanks or components, unprofessional speech, such as verbal threats, off-color jokes, and humor. Please leave these at home. Any incident of workplace violence, no matter how minor it might seem, should be promptly reported to your PO or your temporary representative. Behavior-based safety. This is an example of the Bradley curve. This is posted out on the safety wall. It shows 4 different phases: reactive, dependent, independent, and interdependent. Where do you want to be? Where do you think we are? Where do you think we should be? If you are a reactive operator, these are some of your examples. I only use PPE because I am told to. It's the safety manager's responsibility. This is the mindset that accidents will always happen. If these examples are followed, 0 accidents are unrealistic. If you are a dependent operator, you follow it because it's an OSHA rule. You did it, not me. My supervisor decides what's important. 0 accidents is difficult. Independent. This is the me, I am important phase. Do you want to go to the hospital today? If not, this is your phase. This is understanding that you are committed to safety, that accidents can happen. And if I have a good personal mindset and behavior, 0 accidents is attainable. If you are an interdependent operator, this is understanding that safety is a team effort. I look out for fellow coworkers. I promote safety contact. We talk to others about safety. This is the we are important phase. You, as this first day on your job, you are as important to safety as the person that has been in this facility for 25 years. We own safety. We all have a hand in this. We all can do what we can do to keep each other safe. Be your brother's keeper, and remember safety first. Always remember this phrase: are you getting closer to your next accident, or are you getting farther away from your last one? And I have one more to finish out the class with. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Think about that the next time you intervene with something that could potentially be unsafe, that could result in you or a coworker or a family member, for that fact, going to the hospital or not returning to their homes that day. If you have any questions, please feel free to see your supervisor, myself, Dan Forkey, the Environmental Health and Safety Specialist here in the Adrian facility. Please have a safe day. Thank you.